Hey, what's up YouTube? Dope as Yola here. Hope you had a dope day. Welcome back to the Adventures of Yola. This is the first episode of Storytime on the Adventures of Yola channel. How I met my friends, how I stopped smoking cigarettes, losing your virginity. All those stories can be on here. All my stories on the Dope as Yola channel are so explicit that YouTube recommends them. They're on the watch page, the homepage, all that. They just won't pay me for it, even though it gets a lot of views. But they won't pay me because everything I talk about is so explicit and I cuss constantly. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stories, random stuff, grandma, grandpa, wrestling, school, high school, second grade, fourth. Just talk, tell me, leave a topic and I'll do it. So for the very first storytime topic on the Adventures of Yola channel, it's how I met my friends. You guys constantly ask about my friends from Storytime. What's up with Joe? How's Anthony doing? What are they doing? What's up with Jeebus? You guys know my friends just like I do. Out of all the stories, you guys have learned what Joe's like, what Anthony's like, what Eliza's like. You guys know these people like I do. So today, guys, I'm gonna talk about how I met every one of these guys. Just some of my best friends growing up, and it's time to talk about it. You guys constantly ask about Joe, my homie Joe Fish. He's in almost all the story times. That was my best homie through high school. I met Joe through sports. I met him through football, 9th grade. I just remember he was a skinny white kid and he looked like Justin Bieber and all the girls loved Joe. That's all I remember. All the girls loved Joe. We had football practice together. We had some classes together, but we just didn't really talk. Like, he was that guy. I chill with the linemen, the fatter guys. I chill with the linemen. He chill with those guys, the pretty kids and all that stuff. You guys remember, I'm first string everything. Center, nose tackle, kickoff return, punt return, kickoff, punt, everything you can think of. I'm on the field. I do not come off the field. If you're in football, stop hitting your teammates so hard. It is practice. So we're just going through this play and this giant kid, Vince Wilkins, cracked me from the side, and when I tried to land, I stuck my foot and arm out and I like tweaked my ankle. It instantly got purple. Like, I thought I broke my ankle. So guys, we're on the bus ride to Sonora. Sonora's by Merced. All I know is it's like a mountain town, a bunch of giant 9th graders. Everybody there's like 6 years advanced. We pull up on the bus and I have my ankle all tweaked. I'm trying to, with my crutches, I'm trying to get out. I still fully dressed out in pads because I said, if I feel okay, I'm going out there. I do not care. So we get there, the other team comes across the field and I'm just looking at them like, those guys got beards. One of them has a mustache. I am 13 in the 9th grade. These are full grown men. So the game's over, we lost. We get back on the bus and somehow I just happen to sit right by Joe. And remember, we're not close to Merced, so we have to drive back and it's nighttime. So we're on a bus at nighttime. I'm 13, my first high school experience. I'm with all these dudes, we're hanging out, we're all messing with each other, it's all fun. It was like a bonding experience. Everybody's just like, it's nighttime, just everybody's laughing, making jokes, We're kids, man. I remember he was sitting here, I'm talking to Joe, and I'm thinking, yo, this guy's way cooler than I thought he was. So we're just like talking about girls from school, random stuff, the 9th grader thing. And at the end of the bus, we're getting off and I'm getting my crutches and he helps me with my bag. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man. And we get off the bus. He's like, all right, man, I'll see you Monday. And he fist bumps me. So fast forward to Monday, I see Joe. We now know each other, but we're not like friends or anything. We're just, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? All that stuff. And you guys know from the close call story time in 10th grade, that's when we started hanging out. The second or third week of 10th grade, me and Joe became best friends. And that's when all the other story time started. So like many of you know, if you follow my other channel, you've heard about Joe. And I don't like to go too much into detail. I want to air him out like that, but it's personal. It's my friend. If I want to talk about my best friend, I will talk about him. Joe's a full-blown drug addict, man. He lives outside. There's no helping. I tried to help for years. Showing up randomly. His mom just texted me to come help. And after a while, Anthony tried. We all tried. I just had to give up. I gave up. Me and Rosie were dating at the time. I started doing the Dope as Yola stuff, and about a year and a half into doing Dope as Yola, it's the last time I talked to Joe. I could not be around him anymore. Okay, for those of you that don't know how I met Anthony, we talked about it in a story time on the other channel. But I met Anthony through Joe. The first time I ever met Anthony was the crackhead story time. And after that, after I washed my hair and all that, we walked to a place called Millennium Sports Club. It's a gym and Joe's mom is a physical trainer. So we get to go into the really nice gym, go to the pools, the saunas, racquetball courts. It was awesome because me and Joe love playing racquetball just because what else are we gonna do? We're kids, man. We got a car, just walk around. I'm standing there looking straight. Joe's right here. Anthony's behind me to serve the racquetball. And this fool cracks the racquetball right into my middle of my back. And I just dropped to the ground. It hurt so bad. Anthony's like that. Oh, I'm so sorry. And then that would be one of my best friends. And then when we went back to school, it was just, once you become friends with somebody, you just, hey, what's up? What time am I gonna meet you at break? Where am I meeting you at lunch? Where are we gonna meet up? Where you wanna sit at today? That's what it became. Those became my homies. And I know you guys 100% have heard me talk about Jeebus, same as Jesus. My very first day stepping foot on Merced High campus was Roundup. You know Roundup, where you had to take your parent, they sign you up for all the classes, you have to go check out your books. It's just the worst experience, looking around like, yeah, these are my parents. Yeah, nobody can act like they normally do because your parents are here. I remember I'm walking by the orange pole from the very beginning of Merced High. If I take a left, there's like the principal's office. On the right is like the home room. And right when I take a left, I see this Mexican kid. Well, I thought he was white, but he's like a light-skinned Mexican kid. He just looks like Joey Ramone. He has the biggest afro curls I have ever seen. I mean, Jeep's hair was this big, like shoulder to shoulder. He had like a skater hat on. It was flipped up. He had glasses. He was carrying a skateboard with a backpack. He had like some skate shoes. And I just remember looking at him and I'm like, how old are you, dude? You look 21. Why are you here? So fast forward 2 weeks, first day of high school, first period, I sit down in my assigned seat. The class is about to start. And then one guy comes in, sits there, and I look over and it's Jeebus. And I'm sitting there like, you're a ninth grader, man? We start talking, and over the course of a couple of weeks, like me and Jeebus just talk. And over the course of the year, that's my homie. Like, we're not hanging out every day, nothing like that, but that's my friend Jeebus. And then 10th grade, like Joe, 10th grade is where we just started hanging out. We had PE in 10th grade, and then we just always talked. And then we started hanging out after school, and then that's it. It's crazy, dude, how a friendship just starts. We got our first apartment together on Park Avenue. It was so fun. So then we moved to the Puss Tree's house. You guys have known that story. You guys always hear about him. My homie Deuce, Jesus. He's also Jesus, but his name is Deuce. I met that guy in social studies class. He sat next to me in the 10th grade. You know those friends you don't hang out with after school all the time, but sometimes like, you're my homie, but we don't see each other every weekend. So senior year came and he said he was moving away. And I remember I got his phone number. I was in class. I looked at him. I go, that's crazy, man. I'll probably never see this guy again. He's moving away. And then he ended up not moving away. And then me and him walked into me and Ed's to get a job at the same time. I got a job. He didn't end up going through with it. And then I got Deuce a job at me and Ed's. So we ended up working together for 4+ years, man. He lives in Sacramento. He's a bartender. Deuce is doing great, man. So another person you guys hear me talk about is Ray. Ray is a fake name. The only thing fake about story times is the names. I changed like 30% of the names. So Ray is actually Steve. Steve, his nickname is 6'5" because he's 6'5". Since we were in the 9th grade, he's been 6'5". He talked to me recently and goes, hey man, I watch your stories and how come you don't ever talk about me? Like, did I do something wrong? Steve has 3 kids. One of them is like 10 years old. I don't want his daughter going onto the internet, seeing me like, Dad, isn't that your friend? Why is he talking about you doing all this crazy stuff? That's why I don't want to like put his business out before he can go talk to his kids. But we talked about it. He goes, dude, don't even trip off that. If I have to talk to my kids about something, talk to them. I sat across from him in health, 9th grade, 2nd period, Coach Scheidt, the one I hate. Me and 6'5" sat across from each other. You know, with your classmates, you just talk. Wait, oh, you skate? Oh, you know that guy? Oh, I know that guy. We should meet up. And we started meeting up at the park, skating, hanging out. Steve lived like a 1.5 miles from the school, and his mom and dad let us do whatever we want. So all those crazy story times, a lot of them were at Steve's house, man. When we were kids, the doctors told him, like, you're completely impotent. You have to have a surgery. You can't have kids. So when we were like 18, he got his girlfriend pregnant. And I remember the look on his face. He was just like, yeah. And then back to back, he had 3 kids. He was super happy about it. And yeah, Steve's doing great, guys, and I'm happy for him. So another person you guys have heard me talk about a lot is Nick. Nick, all through 9th grade. Remember I said, Joe was my best friend, right? But we started hanging out in 10th grade. The whole 9th grade year, me and Steve hung out sometimes, but it was Nick. I hung out with Nick every day that I could. We'd be at my grandma's on like Saturday nights. We had nothing to do. We'd sit there playing games or something. We'd just be talking about girls from school. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can date that girl. And like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you know what? You know who's pretty? That one girl. So I think she's a 12th grader. I truly love that guy. He's very funny, and his laugh was so stupid. Every time he'd laugh, I'd laugh because his laugh was so dumb. We would go to his grandma's. We'd hang out all the time. And I remember the last day, he ended up moving to Bakersfield. The last day before he moved, we made these sandwiches. His grandma and grandpa went to sleep, and we made these sandwiches that were like this high. And I remember I looked at him like, you know what would be cool? If we put cheese on it, melted it, and then we did it. We put cheese on it and melted in the microwave. And then I go, what if we like drowned it in barbecue sauce and ate it with a knife? And he looked at me and goes, I'm so down. And I just remember that night, me and him, we were watching movies, we were chugging Sunny Delights, and then we were eating sandwiches with a fork with barbecue. It was disgusting. The sandwich is so gross, but we ate them. Throughout the course of the years, of high school, like we saw him because his grandma lives in Merced. He would come back, we'd see him, it was still cool, we'd hang out, Nick was the man. So yeah, guys, I would still talk to him from time to time after like 18 years old. I would see him sometimes, he would come down. We were still friends, we talk, like, yo, how are you doing, how's your mom, blah, blah, blah. And then about 3 years ago, I'm driving to East LA to go to my homie OG's. I'm with a car full of my homies, and then I get out of the car, and right when I get out, I get a call from Steve. I'm like, I gotta answer this, I haven't talked to Steve in a minute. I don't know if you guys have ever had close friends die, but I just remember looking at my phone and then like everything just went blank. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. Like everything went blank and I just saw his stupid face. Saw his stupid face and his laugh and I just started crying. I have an old school Monte Carlo, a muscle car, and the day that Nick died, he was at work. He bought a Monte Carlo. I had no idea. So he was coming home from work, he was dropping off his coworkers, and I guess there's a part in Bakersfield where there's like a corner, like a blind corner. He just got off work, he just bought a new car the day before, like a fast car. So I understand, he was just excited. So I read the paper, like everybody died on impact except for Nick. The helicopter came and got him, and then he died in the helicopter. So funeral came, I picked up Steve. It was like the weirdest time ever going to Steve's house. Went to the funeral, it was not something I want to be a part of ever again. All right, guys, another person you always hear me talk about is Ryan. Super goofy Ryan. The first time I ever saw Ryan, he was walking through the quad and I go, does that kid know he looks just like Tom Petty? Oh my God, even his teeth. He had huge white teeth. He had a bowl cut, blonde and brown bowl cut. He was 6'2", skinny as a skater. He just looked like CKY. Anthony and Joe introduced me to him. So they brought me to Ryan's house. It was the first time I ever met a group of what would be my friends. So we're in the garage, like 10 dudes. We're all hanging out in a garage. You know those darts that have a magnet? Not the pointy ones. They just have a magnet. They stick to the board. Everyone's playing that from across the garage. So everybody's like, you know what? How much farther? All right, open the door. Let's go outside and throw it. So eventually I'm like, you know what? Let me try that. I throw the dart and I don't even realize what I'm about to do. I throw the dart, and as I do, I throw it high because I'm far, and it busts out the garage light. In the middle of the garage, it breaks the light bulb. I say, hey, I'll clean it up. So I start sweeping it up because I'm super polite. I'm like, no, I will clean it. I did it. I will clean it. And then Ryan's mom, Cheryl, comes in. No, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I'll clean it up. I'll clean it up. So I go outside. 30 seconds later, I hear, ah! And we all run in, and Ryan's mom has a gash all the way down her hand. Her hand's opened, and there's blood dripping off the light bulb fixture thing at the top. And I'm just sitting there like looking at the grounds. Oh my God, can I please go home? I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here. So fast forward after high school, after school, Ryan's doing great. He's a manager at a restaurant. He's doing great. Everyone's doing good. I moved to LA 4 years ago. I don't really talk to him that much because he's a manager at a restaurant. He's busy and he's going to college. So I'm talking to one of my homies. I'm visiting Merced and he goes, man, I saw Ryan. I can't believe what happened. I'm like, what happened, man? My homie proceeds to tell me that he's strung out on drugs. So fast forward another year, I hadn't seen him, I haven't talked to him, I try to get a hold of him, don't answer his phone. So I drive to Merced, I was gonna do a visit, hang out, see everybody. I left LA at like 11 o'clock. So I'm not getting into Merced till like 3:30, it's late. So I'm on 22nd-ish Street, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of crackheads out here. I'm about to take a turn. I know Ryan, I know that walk. I take the turn and I just see his face. 3 blocks away, I look at my rear view and I see him cross the street. And I decide, nope. I flip it around, catch up to him right by the barbershop. I pull over, I hop out, go, what's up, man? Just like that. And he looks at me and just cries. Instantly just starts bursting into tears, man. I sat on the side of the curb with Ryan for 2 hours just talking. So he's hallucinating. He is just hallucinating all these things. Of course there's antennas in your hair, man. You didn't know that in school. He goes, see, I knew it, man. I knew there was antennas. I go, Ryan, of course there's antennas in your hair. I'm just lying to him so he doesn't get defensive. I got him in the car. I drove him straight to his dad's. I had a long talk with his dad, like, why is he out here? What is going on? So I told him, like, Ryan, I got a girlfriend, man, and businesses. I cannot have you on drugs in my house. You stay sober for 1 week, I will come back to Merced. I will drive back. I will pick you up and you can come stay at my house. So about a week and a half, I drove to town. I knocked on Ryan's door. Ryan looked like my Ryan. He looked normal. He looked chill. He was smiling. So he grabbed his stuff. We hopped in the car, drove back to LA, and he stayed with me for like a week. And I just took him on like the LA experience. And everything we did, I go, Ryan, you can have anything I have as long as you just stay off drugs and work hard. After about a week and a half, I drop him back home. I go back to Merced like 6 days later and I knock on his dad's door and he opens the door and with a look on his face, I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong? And I walk into Ryan's room, just everything on the floor is taken apart. Obviously he's on drugs. I tried to help him for like another week or two and just nothing I did Nothing I did could just recover it. And every time I gave him a plot out, there was just more and more excuses, more excuses. I just couldn't do it anymore. And then that was a year and a half ago. I haven't talked to him since. You guys have heard me talk about Sang before, right? Sang is the guy that basically introduced me to Rosie. I met Sang in high school, in classes. We just sat next to each other, just like a lot of kids meet, just like a lot of your friends met. After high school, me and Sang, every single night. Me and my grandpa lived together. I hung out with Sang when he got off of work at KFC. I hung out with Sang right at my car for about 30 minutes every single night for a year at least. He's my homie. He was there for my going away party. We moved to LA. Last time I saw him in Merced, he was very standoffish, like I did something, but he texted me like 2 weeks later and checked on me when the earthquake happened. So I'm like, what's going on, man? What is this? Why are you like mad at me, but you're checking on? I didn't get it, but Sang, if you watch this, hit me up, dude. What happened? Another person you guys hear me talk about is Elizel. All through middle school, that was Joe's best friend. So he introduced us to him. The last time I talked to Elizel was the last time I went, I don't want you around me anymore, dude. What's going on? Me and Rosie just started dating. We're at the Push Tree's house. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and there's just pounding on my door. I get to the peephole. I'm like, is that Elizel? I open the door and it's just Elizel standing there covered, right? Head to toe, covered a whole front just in blood. Blood all the way down his front, all the way to like almost his ankles. I go, Liza, are you okay? He goes, oh yeah, I fell. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, are you drunk, bro? Are you showing up at my house at 5 in the morning covered in blood? And you know what he says to me? What's up, man? You trying to hang out? Eliza, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. You're drunk, covered in blood? Bro, I do not want to hang out. And I closed the door, and that is the last time I have ever talked to Eliza. And the thing that made me more mad is when I was concerned that he was hurt, he didn't care. He goes, oh yeah, I cut myself. I don't care. Want to chill? So it's not like I turned my friend away to go die. Nothing. He was fine. I love Eliza. Love the guy. But I just had to separate myself from that. Him and Joe started getting way too messed up at the same time, and I just broke it off. You guys might not hear too much about this guy, but I have to bring him up. Mike Logo, my friend Mike. Mike is the reason why I started Dope as Yola. He came and told me that people are doing all this stuff on Instagram. Like, yeah, right, that's illegal. He's the reason I started the Dope as Yola channel. Michael Logo is responsible for me going, maybe I'll try Instagram. The first time I ever met Mike, I was in the 4th grade. He was in the 5th grade. I was doing shot put. I'm super strong. So I used to do shot put in the 4th grade. I set the Valley record in the 4th grade. He's huge. He's Samoan. Michael Logo's dad was Booyah Tribe. You know Booyah Tribe, the group? He's their bodyguard. Mike's dad is Booyah Tribe's bodyguard, and Booyah Tribe are huge Samoans. Mike's dad is as big as a truck. So I'm in the 4th grade, we're practicing shot put right by like the portable buildings right at school at Sheehy. And then Mike is in my way, and he keeps throwing the ball, and it's mine. I'm next. And I go, hey man, it's my turn. He goes, get out of here. He just goes like that, get out of here. I go, what? I go, no, I'm next. And he goes, shut up. And I go, who are you? And he turns around, he just goes like that to me, and I push him with everything I got. I go, get out of my face. And he doesn't move, he just goes like that. Doesn't even move at all. And he pushed me and I flew. And I remember I flew and I just ran right back at him. And as soon as I ran back at him, our PE teacher, I hated her. She grabbed me on the shoulder and started screaming at me, what are you doing trying to start fights? And I go, he's huge. I'm not starting anything. The teacher looked at me and started yelling at me. And I remember I looked up and I should have done it. And I cussed at her. I saw her face go, like, what did you say? And I went, I took off running. Guys, I took off running in the middle of school. I ran, jumped the fence, and ran to my grandma Dolores' house right by Sheehy Elementary, which is only 2 houses away from the school. I jumped the side fence and I laid in the tall grass in my grandma's backyard. About 15 minutes later, guys, I just hear talking and I look through the slots in the fence and my sister Shireen is with our principal of the school. Is walking and I see him and I go like, oh, and I just hear, we saw you already. We already saw you. Come out. Oh, I climb the fence. I jump over and I just have my head down. And Shireen's like, what's wrong with you? Why'd you run away? And the principal's like, what are you doing? What's going on? So I told her what happened. Like, your teacher started yelling at me when that guy was going to beat me up. And she just like, what? Okay. She walked me back to school. No trouble. Didn't get in trouble, nothing. And then I won the gold medal for shot put the very next day, and I was hyped. That's how I met Michael Logo. Sheehy, 4th grade. Fast forward, about 18, 19, he works at Walmart. I met me and Ed's. Me and him chill every single day. That's how I met my friends, guys. It's really crazy to think about how long I've known some of these people, and now we're getting older, and some of them have kids, and like they're married. Thinking about that little kid I met. Now you're a dad. Now you're a bartender. Now you're doing this. Like it's crazy actually seeing myself grow up, and then seeing my friends grow up is just even crazier. So guys, that was the very first story time on this channel. It was pretty fun. Leave some topics. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. Story times are now endless. I can talk about anything as long as it's not explicit. No explicit talk on this channel. No smoking, no cussing. Before you leave, guys, do me a favor. Drop a like on the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And like I said, drop a comment. What's next? Until next time, guys, I'm Dope as Yola. Have a dope day.